Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Molly Wobbled 7 from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit, and it says, am I the arsehole for telling my husband that I no longer want to be involved with anything regarding his child? Background: I, 26, have been married to my husband, 27, for 4 years, and he has a child, 6, from a previous relationship. The kiddo stays with the baby mama in a different province. Right, so on to the current issue. BM has, for as long as I know my hubby, been a bit of a problem, and I give you a lot of time examples. I'm assuming BM is baby mama. 1. Lied about the kiddo being deathly ill and on life support. 2. Provided a fake hospital bill in regard to the above. 3. Lied to my father-in-law about hubby paying child support, so she was receiving money from both my hubby and father-in-law. 4. Lied to both my father-in-law and I about hubby knocking her up again when she visited previously. 5. Lied to my in-laws about hubby hiding the kiddo's birthday certificate. 6. Performed every few months about how she cannot manage and is sending the kiddo to live with us. 7. Demands money on top of the child support she is receiving. That's just a few things off the top of my head. I tried speaking to hubby today, and I basically told him that he needs to grow a spine because she truly does take advantage at times, and he got upset with me and said I'm being disrespectful. But here's the thing. The kids' school fees and child support are paid every single month without fail, yet she always demands more and husband always just gives in, even if it will negatively affect us. I'm not saying that he should not support the kid. He most definitely should do that. It's his responsibility. My problem lies with the fact that she cannot hold a job, and even when she does have one of the tantrums, the money stories never end. It's never questioned for help, it's you need to pay for XYZ. Previously, when I used to give advice, he would tell me, I'm not a parent, so I don't know. Lately, if I speak up or give advice, he just gets annoyed with me, and I apparently have no way of speaking. He literally just refuses to grow a backbone when it comes to her. I've had it up to the end of time with this behavior from the both of them, and he just can't understand that she's completely taken advantage of him, but I digress. I've told husband many times to rather not involve me as it's a subject of contention, and time again I've broken the boundary to give him comfort or listen to him to vent, and I'm just tired of being made out to be the bad guy that knows nothing. So I told husband today that I'm standing firm on my decision this time, and I will no longer be breaking my boundary, so he is salty. Edit 1. Many people are assuming that I have issues with the kid, and I genuinely do not. I love her so much. I'm literally just tired of being unheard and treated like an idiot because I didn't push out a baby, as well as the fact that she's constantly disrespectful towards my husband. We have no other issues besides this. When I said I no longer want to be involved, it meant taking my support away from husband because he turns all kinds of support into something negative. Edit 2. Thank you to everyone for your input. I can't respond to all the comments, so I'm just going to break down the majority of what I've been receiving. Firstly, I'm not pregnant, so I'm not sure where some people are getting this idea. Secondly, the main issue is not financial support at the end of the day. It is his duty to financially support his child. I will never ask him to stop. My issue lies with him constantly letting his baby mama bully him, and in extension, me. In regards to sending extra money, whenever she asks is over the silliest things, and she never gives us a heads up. She randomly requests money for things she can literally sort out herself. And I usually don't mind, but he just started a new job after being unemployed for 2 months due to no fault of his own. And I really need help at home because I was trying to carry everything on my own. But I also feel that when she asks for extra cash and he sends even a portion of it, has opened up an entire avenue for a new issue. I need more help than I'm getting. I don't think it's fair to me that he complains and complains and complains, yet when I offer solutions I'm brushed off or he gets upset. I love him, he is a good man, but this woman literally has him by the balls, and I'm just sick of it being ignored when it comes to this. I don't have to give birth to have common sense. So the first commenter who was downvoted comes in and says, you're the arsehole. You're married to this man. This child is a part of your life whether you want it or not. You cannot decide to take only part of your husband's life that suits you. That's not how it works. Opie says, I obviously do not intend on cutting the kid out. What I mean is, I don't want any part of the decision making and venting any more from him. Another commenter says, not the arsehole. Hubby is for enabling his manipulative baby mama and disrespecting you in the process. He needs to grow a spine and take his baby mama back to court to sort out this mess. His behavior doesn't bode well for long-term success of your marriage. Question: how are your finances split? Opie responded saying household expenses are split between us. The only thing separate is payment for his child. We have separate accounts and divide bills. Another commenter says, how do you handle vacations, going out to dinner, gifts and presents, etc.? Does he cover his share? Do you need to cover his share? Or do you don't do/buy the gifts? Are you each saving for retirement, or is he counting on you handling that? Obviously, he needs to help support his child, but not support his ex as well. Her not having a job appears to mean he's supporting that entire household. When he can't bring out of work, then it's up to you to support your household without him covering his share, and what unemployment he receives appears if it's going completely to his ex. Opie says, in respect to date nights, I usually pay, which I don't mind, but if I don't ask to go out, we don't usually. Drinking alcohol and such he covers, and we've been on one holiday by ourselves since we got married, and I covered it. When push comes to shove, he does help as much as he can, but unfortunately, sometimes it's not enough. I'm not being financially abused nor emotionally, just stuck in a shit cycle. Opie clarifies on her relationship with her husband's child. Opie says, the reason I refer as husband's child is because he has made it clear that I'm not a parent nor a step-parent by both sides. We've had many conversations about the three of us working together, but it's all just words. It is not my place to force myself on as a parental figure. I feel that would just make things worse. There was a time where baby mama expected me to move out the house because she didn't want me around the kiddo. Another commenter says, okay, first of all, info. How often does he see/take care of his child? You mentioned mum is in a different province, which suggests some difference, and suggests he's supportive in monetary ways only. Mum seems like she's off the wall, but 6 seems to me that she's the only one actually raising the child. 1 also sounds like that because if the child was deathly ill, if he was an involved dad, wouldn't he know whether that's true or not? All or most of your complaints about mum would be alleviated if your husband went to court and had an order firmly in place regarding financial support and physical time sharing. It sounds like your husband just throws money at the issue and nothing more. It sounds to me like your problem is with him and not her. He could knock all this interference on the head if he wanted to. I will add that he is definitely the arsehole regarding the questions I asked. He's committed to sharing his life with you, but seemingly is subjecting you to bullshit while also taking away your voice as being irrelevant. So many people bag on steps, and at the end of the day, you should have a voice since it affects your life. The only reason why I didn't give a real judgment is because I don't know whether it's everyone sucks here or not the arsehole. You married this man knowing he had a child, and you were seemingly able to see what kind of father he was before marrying. If you saw a guy who threw money and not time, then you're an arsehole too. Just in different ways than him. He's most assuredly an arsehole. OP comments saying, I'll be honest, we don't see her as often as we'd like to. Like I said before, we're currently living paycheck to paycheck and cannot afford the trip at the moment, but we're saving towards one. They speak on the phone almost daily, and she adores her dad, although I'm actually more of a favorite, contrary to most people assuming I hate an innocent child. Commenter says, not the arsehole, but why would your husband believe a hospital bill? You have universal healthcare. Is the child in private school? Why are there school fees? He needs to get a lawyer and not pay anything unless it's looked over. It's not your responsibility. AP says he didn't believe it. We did our due diligence and figured she was trying to get money out of us. We're not in the USA, so most things are paid for from where I'm from. Commenter says, not the arsehole. In my honest opinion, your husband needs to revisit the terms of his child support agreement and make sure he's only paying what's mandated and getting all the time he's entitled to with his daughter. Other than that, you're staying mum on personal and financial issues with her either way. OP responded saying, so there isn't a court order as he isn't even on the birth certificate. And where I am from, if the mother wants to take the father to court, they will have to do a paternity test, which he doesn't want to happen. He doesn't want to do a paternity test. The last time I brought it up, I almost got thrown out the house. He went through the paternity testing situation as a child, and he says he doesn't want to scar her the way he was scarred. And one more commenter asks for info saying, 1. So are the two of you still living in a house paid for by his parents while driving a car paid by them? 2. Is he covering his half of the other bills or coming up short? 3. Is there no child support order specifying an amount he is to pay each month? On what basis are you determining he is paying more than he is supposed to? 4. How long were you out of work when you both agreed you would resign from your job and he did cover all the bills during the time period? 5. How long was he out of work and did he pay any money towards his daughter during this period? Opie says 1. Yes. 2. He comes up a little short. I cover everything. He contributes some to fuel. 3. He's paying way over the amount they agreed on. 4. 2 months and yes, he did, but my dad helped him with some personal bills. 5. 2 months, yes, he did. He received his pro rata salary the first month, and in the second month, he asked his dad for help. So it was around 20 months later that OP came in with an update and said, "Hi guys, I made a post in the Am I the Arsehole community a while back, and I would like to give an update." Then shares the link below that and says, "So straight into it. We are now divorced. Everything was finalized this week and all of my belongings were removed from our marital home yesterday. After being married for 6 years, I'm hurt and broken, but I'm confident that this was the right decision. I finally realized that 90% of being with him was about manipulation and control. Onto his child. He still hasn't done a paternity test, and he has got no contact with the child and her mother except for paying child support. I'm sorry this update took so long." Commenter asks on the back of that one, this may be a leap, but did he go no contact with his child in response to you divorcing him, i.e. no longer being in the picture to take care of her? I'm only making that assumption based on your original post, but that's what it sounds like. It's wild to me that his lack of spine regarding his child's mother and his decisions to, in turn, include you in their drama was such a huge issue during your marriage that he refused to address. Yet upon your divorce, he suddenly gained the will to cut her off entirely. It's fucked that he's including his own child in that as well. But either way, I imagine that you must feel so unburdened, knowing that you'll never have to deal with those antics again. Your first post did not sound as though you're in an equal partnership, and that's something that no one should ever feel in their marriage. I'm happy for you. You deserve so much better than what you previously described. Good luck, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, OP. OP says he went no contact way before our divorce. Commenter says, please give more details about what went down and what you meant with it was all about control and manipulation. OP says in his mind, if he wants something, he gets it no matter what, or how he hurts you. His narrative was always the truth no matter if it was right or wrong. He would twist situations and manipulate me to get his desired outcome, even going so far as to use his illness, which I won't be disclosing for privacy reasons. He would break me down verbally and psychologically, use that kind of abuse to make me completely dependent on him. Commenter says, but wasn't going no contact with baby mum basically what you've been demanding the whole time? OP says no. I was demanding he step up and stop letting her bully him and try to bully her way into our lives. Commenter says, how come there's a question about him being the father? You always have to put yourself first. Can you imagine what having a baby with him would be like? A massive headache and resentment. OP says the baby was conceived over a one-night stand when she was seeing other people. I'm grateful that I don't have children with him, as mean as that may sound, but I can't imagine having gone through everything if we had a child. OP on the divorce and says, honestly, divorce wasn't on the table for me, but it got to the point where he had literally drained everything out of me. And when he brought it up, I chose not to contest it because I would have literally been fighting for nothing. And one more question for OP on, did OP get a share of the house she had with her ex from the divorce? And OP said, no, I don't. Bloody hell, what an absolute messy situation, and we're still left with questions after this as well. I mean, I don't blame OP for just being out of there and going ahead with that divorce, because the future of that just sounded really bleak. But firstly, my heart was breaking for that poor kid in this situation, that he just suddenly got no contact with this child as well. Someone apparently who adored him, How crushing must that be for the kid? And then there was in the comments, someone said about the baby was conceived over a one-night stand when she was seeing other people, but still didn't want the paternity test on that as well. And in the end, why did he go no contact? What happened? But what do you guys make of this situation? What do you think that's happened here? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from just a bunch of characters, and it says, my boyfriend, 31 male, thinks it's okay to tell me what to wear, 31 female, and he doesn't understand it's upsetting. We've been together 6 years. Over the past couple of years, my clothing has become more and more of an issue. I'm not a girly girl. I don't put on a full face of makeup every day. My style is generally more casual. With that said, I am by no means a slob. I almost always have my nails done. I wear a lot of denim in different shades and cuts. Fitted leggings, tees, tanks, and sneakers. I have a lot of cute flats too. Not much for heels though, just on special occasions. On an average day, I do a quick simple down hairstyle or sometimes, less often, a ponytail. I usually just do some eyeliner and a tinted moisturizer. If we're going out on the weekend, I'll do a full face of makeup, the whole shebang. My boyfriend grew up with a mum and grandma that get dolled up to the nines just to go to Target. They live for the name brands, constantly talk about shopping, and are always done up. I did not. My mum ran to the store in jeans and a t-shirt. It was normal. I've tried explaining to him that I'm simply not that person, but he doesn't seem to get it. He says I'm not fashionable, so I did my best and ordered an entire closet full of clothing based on the things he likes. My entire closet is now extremely tight, fitted short dresses, short skirts, and almost all crop tops. I'm a conservative dresser, so wearing this stuff is pretty uncomfortable for me, not stuff I'd ever really buy on my own for myself. Frankly, I don't want to leave the house every single day with my stomach and belly button showing at 31 years old. I'm not 15. I'm in good shape, but that's not the point. He thinks he can pick my outfits. Literally at this point, anytime we're heading out, he goes to my closets and picks out my clothes. If I say anything about not wanting to wear something, i.e. I feel bloated today, really would rather not wear a crop top, he gets immediately upset. There have even been a couple of times when it was really cold and I told him I didn't want to wear shorts and a crop top because I was cold. He then got upset saying it wasn't cold. He says I always make an excuse not to wear stuff he wants me to wear. I guess from his perspective it seems that way. But he doesn't understand that he wants me to dress in a way that is totally foreign and not natural to me. A while back I wanted to go to my aunt's house for a barbecue and he insisted I wear a very tight and short dress. I told him my family is conservative and that it was not appropriate to wear. He flipped out and it turned into a huge argument. I've tried over and over to explain this to him, but he just keeps saying that how I dress matters to him and that it's my fault for being closed-minded, for not listening to him, and that I have a confidence issue. I don't know what to do. I've also tried telling him that he's hurting my feelings and making me feel unattractive. Any suggestions? Ugh, dearie me, the fact that he's taken this controlling behavior of his and calling it OP's confidence issue is just awful, isn't it? And that's all it is. It's a control issue here. He's not trying to help you be more fashionable, help with your confidence or whatever bullshit he's coming out with. He's trying to control how you dress. He's getting upset when you don't comply with his wants. He's showing you exactly who he is in this situation. He doesn't want to talk about it. He just wants to control. That's all he wants to do. And it's 100% a deal breaker situation. You deserve someone who thinks you're going to look great in whatever you feel comfortable in. A Star Striker says to the OP, Jesus, this is insanely weird and controlling behavior. You're not a Barbie doll. He doesn't get to pick your outfits for you. Please tell him in no uncertain terms that he is not allowed to pick your clothes and that you're going to wear what you like and what makes you feel comfortable. And if he doesn't like it, he can shove it or leave. ETA, this sort of thing will only get worse the longer you put up with it, and he seems to be testing how much you will let him control your life or if you put your foot down. I'd leave him if I were you. Black and White Paint says you deal with it by leaving a controlling arsehole. This shit is abusive behavior. He's a big boy. He understands your words. He knows how you feel. He does not care because he does not love you. He just wants to own you. Opie adds in the comments, I guess I always tell myself, maybe it's me. Maybe other guys do this too. At times I feel so confused that I can't tell whether what's happening is really a problem or whether I'm just overreacting. This thread is a wake-up call. That's what I always find incredibly sad in these situations. Over a long period of time, it becomes a pattern. It almost becomes like normalized behavior to the point you're starting to question yourself and thinking, am I the one that's wrong in here? And it always breaks my heart when I see that in stories, because it does make you think about, I don't know how many people out there that's in those kind of situations, because, this kind of stuff's been normalized. But it was around 10 days later that OP did come in with an update and said, after continued arguing, I finally moved out of the apartment about a week ago because we decided that we needed space. He begged me to move back, but I said no. I agreed to do couples therapy along with my individual therapy. My therapist told me it'd be normal to go back and forth and even repeatedly think about going back to him because of the psychological impact of everything I've dealt with for 6 years. She said to just keep working on it and not feel the need to make a final decision before I'm emotionally ready. The first couple session we did was a disaster, with him screaming the entire time and the therapist implying as much as she could that this was really nearly impossible. We then decided to look for another therapist to continue trying. All week I've been calling and emailing different therapists trying to get an appointment. I finally found one with an open spot and asked my fiancé to send his insurance card. Of course, because it's now beyond clear that he doesn't give a crap, he delayed sending it to me for 2 days. Never once asked if he could help, or if I needed any help finding someone. Per usual, it's all on me. I was having a lot of emotional turmoil, obsessive thoughts, back and forth, and asked him if he wanted to do something together tonight, just to talk about what we are doing and where this is going. He told me he really needed space to think about our relationship and meditate on it. I was upset, but I said fine. About an hour later, he accidentally dialed me. I picked up saying hello, and just heard mumbling in the background. As I waited thinking he called me to talk, I heard him and a woman's voice. Then the phone hung up. I called back asking what that was about. He seemed confused and said he was at his mum's house. Impossible, because I had just spoken to his mum a few minutes ago. I called him out and he said, okay, my aunt stopped by the apartment. Again, makes no sense and totally contradicts what he said 2 seconds before. He then said, okay, fine, I admit it. I invited XYZ over. Let's talk about it later. He then hung up. Now, for the past 2 months, a female co-worker of his has been calling him non-stop to ask for help with work stuff. It was always a little suspicious to me because he's only been at that office for a few months, and this girl has worked there for years. Why does she need to come to him specifically with every single question? He is not a supervisor or in any managerial role. She's also called him a few times to ask for relationship advice and mention how she likes bad boys. Why? Does she not have other friends, cousins, brothers, sisters? She has to call my fiancé? Anyway, I just gave it the benefit of the doubt. But he would light up anytime she came up in a conversation and refer to her as his work girlfriend. At the same time, he had a couple of female friends from his last job. In the past, I saw some flirty texts, but he insisted the 2 ladies were a lesbian couple and they were just friends. I didn't like it and told him it made me uncomfortable. After he got caught, he insisted it's the lesbian couple over at our apartment having dinner with him that he paid for. Well, I've been sitting at my mum's house for 2 weeks agonizing about this relationship, trying to set up therapy and feeling guilty for hurting him. Meanwhile, he needs times to himself to reflect on the relationship, aka hang out with 2 women who he knows I have a problem with due to past texts. I say all that long drawn out crap to say this. That is the last straw. All the screaming at me, yelling, gaslighting, manipulation, temper tantrums, punching walls, constant need for validation, minimizing, and abuse I've endured was topped off by this. Honestly, don't know that he hasn't cheated on me with a coworker either. I'm done. I'm so done. I only need a date when I can go by and move all my stuff out. Never again. Francesca says he didn't call you by accident. He was trying to make you jealous. Yeah, I was thinking that too as well. Beth Muffin replies to that saying, that was my thought. He didn't accidentally call when another woman was speaking. If he was really cheating, he'd work a hell of a lot harder to cover his tracks. He wanted to hurt her and rub it in. Opie says, I definitely consider this a possibility, which makes it even sicker than it being an accident. Who knows? The funny thing is that I know any conversation about this will be how I'm controlling and not letting him have female friends, because I don't think these women are interested in friendship. I now know he's projecting, manipulating, and gaslighting. Chris says, in quotes, I only need a date when I can go by and move all my stuff out, and then says, when you go, take one or more friends with you to help. That will move things along quickly and help keep him under control. Opie says I plan to go when he isn't home. Hopefully, fingers crossed, there'll be an opportunity tomorrow, as he almost always has dinner plans with his mum on Sundays. My mum and sister will be going with me to speed up the process. And then people were talking about after this that Opie did make a post on their profile 4 months later about a Tinder date she had, so she definitely left him. But when Opie came in with that list in the last paragraph there, the yelling, gaslighting, manipulation, temper tantrums, punching walls, constant need for validation, you just think, bloody hell, what has this woman been through? And I'm so glad she got out of that relationship in the end. And I know this isn't Opie's problem, and I'm not suggesting that it is in any way, but I always think on the back of stories like this that guy's behavior isn't going to change anytime soon. He's not going to sit back and reflect on his previous behavior and his previous relationship. So, he's still out there, and someone, potentially one of these people that he's trying to have these side things with, is going to be getting this controlling behavior at some point in the near future once he settles in with him as well, which I just find absolutely terrifying. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? How would you deal with it if it was you? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for being involved in today's stories, for listening in, liking, subscribing, hyping, all that good stuff. It really does make an absolute massive difference to the channel. I know you guys do it all the time, but I can never say thank you enough because it's just absolutely amazing. Thank you once again, and hopefully I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care and much love.